Whether you're brand new to the series or just looking to touch up your skills, this tutorial will give you all the tools you need to finish your story in WWE 2K24. To begin, let's head to the ring and go over the basics. Starting with movement, you can move around using the left analog stick with the speed of your movement depending on the pressure used. To run, hold the left trigger and move the left analog stick in the direction that you want to go. To enter or exit the ring, move the left analog stick towards the ropes and hold the right bumper. A light strike can be performed using the light attack button when in close proximity to your opponent, with alternate strikes available when holding the left analog stick towards or away from your opponent. Heavy strikes can also be performed in the same manner by pressing the heavy attack button. Grapples are performed using the grab button, which will see players lock up in a collar and elbow tie-up. From this position, players can use the light or heavy attack buttons to perform grapple moves, with alternate moves available when moving the left analog stick up, down, left or right. With your opponent grounded on the mat, players can perform a range of strike attacks using the light or heavy attack buttons. It's also possible to perform a grapple, which you can do by pressing the grab button, then pressing either the light or heavy attack button to perform a move. Different moves are available depending on the location of the grapple, with players able to grapple opponents at the head, side or legs. From a grounded position, you can also turn an opponent over to perform a different set of moves by moving the right analog stick left or right. To pick up a grounded opponent, you can do this by moving the right analog stick up. Submission moves can also be attempted from a grounded position by approaching either the head, side or legs and then holding the right trigger and pressing the grab button. To whip your opponent into the ropes, you can perform an Irish whip by pressing the grab button to grapple your opponent and then pressing the grab button a second time to whip them into the ropes. You can also double tap the grab button before the initial lockup to speed up the animation. You can also perform a strong Irish whip that will send your opponent over the top rope and down to the outside by first locking up in a grapple using the grab button and then holding the grab button along with the direction that you want to go. Pullback attacks are moves that are performed when using an Irish whip but pulling your opponent back towards you to execute a move. Pullback moves can be performed by using an Irish whip and then pressing the light or heavy button before whipping your opponent. Now that you know how to whip an opponent into the ropes, let's move on to rebound attacks. These can be performed by pressing the light, heavy or grab button as your opponent rebounds towards you. As your opponent rebounds, pressing the light or heavy attack button will perform a strike action, while pressing the grab button will attempt a grapple move. To perform a running strike, hold down the left trigger and move the left analog stick in the direction of your opponent, then press the light or heavy attack button to perform a strike. To perform a running grapple, hold down the left trigger and move the left analog stick in the direction of your opponent, then press the grab button. To climb the turnbuckle, hold the left trigger to run and then direct the player towards the corner to automatically climb to the top rope. This can be achieved both in the ring and outside of it, as well as from the apron. In order to perform a diving attack, players can press the light attack or the heavy attack button to perform a variety of different moves. To perform a carry move, press the grab button to grapple your opponent, then press the right bumper to lift them into the carry position. In this position, players can freely move around while carrying their opponent. To perform a move, press the heavy attack button. From the carry position, players can also press the light attack button to perform an environmental attack, which will allow you to interact with different parts of the ring, such as the ropes, the corner, or the apron. To escape the carry position, rapidly press the grab button to fill the circle. While carrying an opponent, you can also transition into a different style of carry by moving the right analog stick up, down, left or right. To drag an opponent, press the grab button to perform a grapple, then press the left bumper to transition into a drag. Drags can be performed from both a standing position and when your opponent is on the ground. If your opponent is on the apron and you're within the ring, you can press the light attack button to perform a basic strike or the heavy attack button to perform a strong attack. You can also perform a grapple move by pressing the grab button to grab your opponent and then pressing either the heavy button or the grab button. To exit onto the apron, move the analog stick towards the ropes and tap the right bumper to climb onto the apron. From this position, players have multiple options available depending on the position of your opponent. If your opponent is in the ring, the light and heavy attack buttons can be pressed to perform strikes and heavy attacks, whilst the grab button can be used to perform a grapple. If you're playing as a high flyer, you can also perform a springboard attack by holding the left bumper and pressing the light attack button. For high flyers, you can also attempt a springboard attack to the outside. To do this, hold the left analog stick towards the ropes and press the left bumper to grab hold of them. While holding the ropes, press the light attack button to perform a springboard. Running springboards and dive attacks can also be performed to the outside. To perform a running dive to the outside, whilst running towards the ropes, move the left analog stick towards your opponent, then press the light attack button. Springboard moves can also be performed from the apron to the outside by holding the left bumper and pressing the light attack button. To perform a signature move, you'll first have to fill out your special meter, which you can do by performing moves and strikes. Once your bar is full and your opponent is in position, hold the right trigger down and press the light attack button to perform your signature. If you're unsure of the position you need to be in to perform your signature, you can check this by pausing the game and selecting moves. To perform a finishing move, first make sure that you have a finishing move stored, then with your opponent in position, hold down the right trigger and press the heavy attack button. As with signature moves, if you're unsure of the position that you need to be in to perform a finishing move, then you can check this by pausing the game and selecting the move option. For superstars with standing or running finishing moves, these can also be performed using a charged finisher. To perform a charged finisher, hold down the right trigger and press the heavy attack button while your opponent is on the mat. Alongside regular finishers, certain superstars also have the ability to perform a super finisher, which is a more powerful move that deals 3 times as much damage, though in order to perform one, you'll need to use 3 stored finishers. To check if the superstar that you're playing as has a super finisher available, you can pause the game and check out the move screen. In this example, Cody Rhodes has the Crossroads Trinity assigned as a super finisher, so let's go back to gameplay and try this out. First, we need to make sure that we have 3 stored finishers, which are indicated by the 3 yellow segments. Once you have 3 finishers stored, you'll notice your finisher meter will become electrified to indicate that a super finisher is now available. Super finishers use the same button combination as regular finishers, which is the right trigger and the heavy attack button, though you only need to tap the buttons to use it. With your opponent on the mat, you can attempt a pinfall by moving the right thumbstick down. If you'd like to cancel the pin attempt, this can be done by pressing the left bumper. To kick out of a pinfall, there's 2 methods available depending on the pin minigame chosen, as WWE 2K24 comes with the option of using a timed pin minigame or a rapid pin minigame, both of which can be selected via the options menu under gameplay settings. When using the timed minigame, to kick out of a pinfall, move the right thumbstick up or press the heavy attack button when the cursor is within the green area. Depending on the amount of damage that you've sustained, the speed of the cursor and the size of the target area will vary, with the speed increasing as more damage is received. When using the rapid pin minigame, to kick out, you'll need to rapidly press the heavy strike button and fill out the circle before the referee counts to 3. For younger players, or for anyone looking for accessibility solutions, you can also enable the Allow Held Input for Minigames option within the gameplay settings, as this will allow players to hold the heavy attack button to fill out the circle and kick out. To perform a submission move, hold the right trigger and press the grab button. When attempting a submission move, the following indicator will appear on screen. The submission bar works in the same manner as a tug of war, in which players have to repeatedly press the button shown to fill the submission bar. During a submission, the player who performed the move can press the left bumper to cancel the submission attempt. For players that enable the Allow Held Input option, this also works for submissions, allowing you to hold the button shown rather than rapidly press it. Combo moves are a series of strike attacks that, when completed, will result in a specific move being performed. Combos are performed using a combination of the light, heavy and grab buttons, with a full list of player combos available in the pause menu. Using Cody Rhodes, to give you an example of a specific combo, a butterfly pile driver can be performed by pressing light, heavy, heavy grab while moving the analog stick towards your opponent. To perform this in game, move the analog stick towards your opponent and press the buttons in sequence light, heavy, heavy grab. Every superstar has a different set of combos available, so if you want to check how to perform a certain move, using the combo option within the pause menu is essential. Reversals can be performed using the reversal button, which is Y on Xbox and triangle on PlayStation. To successfully perform a reversal, players will want to press the reversal button whenever the reversal indicator pops up on screen. This can occur whenever a grapple or strike attack is initiated, with some moves also featuring a mid-move reversal that will see the reversal button appear during the move itself. A dodge can be performed by moving the left analog stick away from your opponent and pressing the right bumper. Successfully performing a dodge can prove to be a very useful move, as this will give you a window of opportunity to launch a counter-attack. The style of the dodge performed depends on the superstar's class, as while Cody may duck a punch, another class such as a cruiserweight will perform a lucha roll, while certain stars like scripts feature their own unique animations. To perform a block, players can hold the block button, which is Y on Xbox or triangle on PlayStation. Holding the block button will see the player enter a blocking stance that will protect them from light attacks and give them a chance to hit a counter of their own, however blocks won't protect you from a grapple. Breakers are another chance to counter moves after entering into a grapple state. To perform a breaker, when your opponent performs a grapple, the aim is to try and guess if they'll press the light, heavy or grab button. If you guess correctly and press the same button that they do, then this will see you break up and escape the grapple. A breaker can also be performed when defending a strike combo, as guessing the next button to be pressed will see you break the combo. Using the D-pad, you can perform various taunt actions towards the crowd or towards your opponent. To perform a crowd taunt, press left on the D-pad. This will see the player turn towards the crowd and perform a crowd taunt. To taunt in the direction of your opponent, this can be done by pressing right on the D-pad. Taunts can also be performed in a variety of situations, such as the corner or the top rope. If your opponent is on the mat, pressing up on the D-pad will see you perform a special wake-up taunt which will cause your opponent to stagger back to their feet. So that's all the basics covered, which should give you a good understanding of how things work and how to get started, but if there's anything not covered in this tutorial that you're having problems with, let me know about it in the comments and I'll try to help you out. In the meantime though, stay tuned to the channel for more tutorials on WWE 2K24. Thank you so much for watching, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.